Hi everybody, I'm back. Thought I would share some painting techniques with you today. So here's my little palette. I like the plastic ones. I've got some gesso, some Prussian blues, some phthalo blues, some phthalo green, some black, and some lake blue. That's what I'm working with on this painting here. And I'm working on getting some light put in back here. It's really interesting with night paintings. You actually need a lot more light in the painting than you'd realize. If you've ever had the chance to go, if you live out in the country where I used to live, the sky is very dark, it's true, but there's so much light coming from the sky. You'd be surprised at what lights up. And especially when you don't have light pollution like you do in the city. One of the things that we've done, which I think is a really cool thing to do if you ever get a chance, is go to Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. And they're deep caverns, and they have stalactites and stalagmites. And they have a special tour we took once. And that's where you go down into one of the caverns and they turn off all the lights. And that is really dark. You can't even see your own hand. It's amazing. So then when you compare that to what a real night sky is like, then you realize there's actually a lot more light than you'd realize. So when you paint, you need to remember that. So what I'm trying to do is fill in some light here that I'm going to be putting in mountains in front of. So I kind of want a haze going on there back here. So I'm using the gesso, and it's really important not to leave a streak like that. So you get a little water and you can move it. There you go, streak's gone. And then I add a little light in it here because I want it to kind of be misty and blendy. So I know you saw my last video where I did some sign language for my deaf friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stick with the same painting when I do the different videos because, well, you can't back up and paint the same thing again. So I'm going to use a different canvas and do a different painting when I'm doing the sign language ones. I'm very nervous about it just because I'm not skilled at all, but I really enjoy including my friends, and they seem to enjoy the video too, so I'm glad. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is sometimes I really don't know what I'm doing. I really want to get a nice blend here. The goal on this painting is this is the lake. I have some mountains in front of it, and then I'm going to have trees that are in the middle of the lake. That's the goal. Doesn't mean that I will actually accomplish that. But we want to give a feeling that there's stuff way off in the distance here. And then we will, what I'll do is I'm going to start to bring in some shapes. It's really best to do that when it's wet. And of course I'm working with acrylic. I probably forgot to mention that before. I don't use oils because the kiddo has the chemical problems, and so I don't want to have the odor of the oils in the home. And also, I am very impatient. I'm an impatient painter. So with oils, it takes a long time for it to dry, and I don't want to wait. I'm really bad about that. The nice thing about oils, it does take a long time to dry, so you can make some changes if you want, but you can do the same thing with acrylics. You really can. You just have to get it wet again. And again, what I'm trying to do is get some shapes in here that you imagine you see. I don't want them to be super standoutish because you want the depth. You know, honestly, I'm not very good at depth perception, so I sometimes have to repaint to get the right. But see, we're starting to get a little shape there. Also, I'd like to point out my some of my favorite art right here is not by me. I didn't do it. I have a dear friend who I've watched her grow up, and she's just got a natural talent. It's just beautiful. I love her work. I do not do faces. I do people, but they're always in the distance, and there's motion, but there's no faces, because it's just not in my wheelhouse, as they like to say. But anyway, if you want to give my friend a follow, she's on Instagram, and her name is Raindrop Art. It's RAYNEDROPART, and Instagram. So go check her out. It's really cool. Anyway, so I think this is as far as we're going to get today, because it's already been a few minutes in, and I'm trying to keep them kind of short. And next time we'll do a little more definition, and then later we'll be getting more stars in, but I don't do all the stars at first because I get over crazy and I get too many stars. So I try to just pull back and don't use as many stars, because later when I do the rest of the painting, I can see where I need a different pattern and how many stars. I'd rather have not enough than too many. Have a great day, guys.